on
Oh,
Zoom.
okay.
Okay. And now I'm at GarageBand.
Okay, ready?
One,
One, two,
two, three.
three. Okay, we're going to be recording at the same time.
Yep.
Okay, ready?
Alrighty.
One, two, three. Well, who knows if that was on or not? Patreon Rammies. You guys have no idea what we've gone through in this past hour. You have
I
no
feel like shook
idea.
to my core.
I feel sick. It's literally just technical difficulties. We've gotten fancy mics for the house.
And with great privilege comes great responsibility.
And we can't handle it.
I don't think we can.
I'm scared. I hope this audio works in the end. But Tess and I saw each other yesterday and we were like, honestly, I think the technology is like all set up and we can just start recording tomorrow. It would be no big deal. We were fools then.
We were fools because we've spent the last hour trying to record this. And now we have to be in separate rooms recording over Zoom just to be completely transparent.
We're in separate. I feel sad, but I have Tess's dog behind me, Noah.
I know it does feel like there's a sadness in the air, but I guess we have to change it.
We have to change it. We have to change. Noah's just sad right now because he had his peaceful guest room and I came in with an energy like none that he's ever seen.
He's like, I wish I could help you guys, but there's nothing I can do. And there's nothing anyone can do. And that's the thing.
That's true. And we've just got the show must go on. This is show business, baby.
It is show business.
So we'll see how it sounds.
Yeah. I mean, bear with us, everyone.
Yes. I'm pulling out my notes because what are we doing today, Tess? Tess, you had this beautiful idea.
We thought, I mean, it was a joint idea. I mean, it really was. You brought it into fruition, I would say.
Really?
I think, yeah, because I was, yeah, right. I mean, I feel like this was really, you pushed me to do it in a way that I needed.
Frozen. Frozen on Zoom. It's fine. We're gonna keep going.
It's okay. Okay, so we're gonna talk about The Parent Trap. The Parent Trap recap because it's one of the best movies of truly our generation. I believe it.
I couldn't agree with you more. So the other night I was like, I should watch this movie before recapping it. And I was like, I'm just like not in the mood for it. I don't know why I felt that way.
Yeah.
And the minute I turned it on, I was like, and Nat King Cole started playing. I was like, this will be an everlasting love. I know
such a good soundtrack to the movie too, which I forgot about.
Yes, they love Nat King Cole opens the movie and his daughter, Natalie Cole, closes it.
Wow, that's that Nancy Meyers magic right there.
That is that Nancy Meyers magic. And I'm currently wearing, shout out to Morgan, one of my really good friends. She had that Parent Trap themed bachelorette party, and I'm wearing the t-shirt that resembles the camp t-shirts. We'll post a picture.
It's so cute. Such a good idea.
It's such a good idea. Shout out to you, Morgan.
I love that. Well, did you what was your relationship like with this movie as a child?
I watched this movie so much as a child. Emma and I reenacted the fencing scene, whether it was in the pool, whether it was on a couch. Like we were always doing that scene. It's like, no, I'll help you. Or what does that say? What does she say?
What does she say? It's like, it's in that tone too.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Or like she does like a
yes, something like that. Oh my God,
I just watched it like an hour ago, but I've just been so shook. I've now forgotten everything.
So shook. And also we had taken a few hits off of a weed pen. So
we were like panicking about relaxing, but then now I feel like it's kind of made me feel more crazy.
It's going to be great. But yes, I love this movie. Natasha Richardson is all of our mothers. She's Princess Diana. Nicolas Cage is Zaddy.
Oh, baby Dennis Quaid.
Oh my God, I've done this every time. When Corey and I were watching the movie, I kept being like Nicolas Cage so hot. And I always am like so frightened by Nicolas Cage, but he's haunting me.
I mean, different types of men, truly. Like when I was watching this morning, Kunal was like, Dennis Quaid is like white women's catnip. And I was like, it's so true. Like, I remember my mom being like, now that is a man, like back in the day.
Man.
And like, I feel that way about him. I think he's sexy as hell.
Tess, can I unlock a memory for you? Do you remember when we met Dennis Quaid? Guys, Corey reminded me of this. So one time we were at Winston House. My boyfriend's place of business, but it was an old one. And Tess and I come around the corner where it's like a 2-story level at the top of the stairs. And what do we see?
Dennis Quaid struggling to get up the stairs.
Yeah, barreling up the stairs. I paused, so I don't know if we were talking up each other, but I've never seen someone walk upstairs like that.
It's like he was searching for something at the top of these stairs that he would die if he didn't get them. And like, it looked like he was climbing Mount Everest. Like
watching Tess see, because she didn't know that Dennis Quaid was there that night too. And just watching her face, see him barreling up the stairs towards her.
And then all this, so we're just like standing like shocked, like jaws to the floor, like didn't know what to say. And then he just like comes up and he's just like, hi. And we were like, hello. And like, I was speechless.
Probably one of my favorite memories that I always forget about, but love to be reminded of.
And like, what a joy that we got to see that. Not everyone gets to
not
see
everyone
what we
gets
saw.
Nick Parker and his leather jacket and leather skin.
Oh my God. I mean, so this movie came out in 98, right? Yeah, I think it's 1998.
Mm-hmm.
As a child, I love this movie because it was inspiring in many ways, you could say.
In many ways.
You know, I was a kid of divorce and I didn't like my dad's girlfriend. And I was like, oh my God, it would be so fun to come up with a plan to hurt her and to embarrass her and shame her. And I won't get into it much deeper because it is kind of a dark story. But then I wasn't allowed to watch the movie anymore. And the soundtrack was also thrown away from me, which I thought was very unfair by my dad.
Even the soundtrack?
I was like, you know what? Don't come for the soundtrack.
Like, what did the soundtrack do to you? Nothing.
Yep. I had a poster of it that was just torn down when I got back.
The music is magical. There she goes.
Oh my God, that scene. Oh, we have so much to talk about.
So let's get into it.
Okay, well, shall we just start? Do you want to take us through like how the movie starts and
sure? Let me
set the scene.
Up. Yes, I do have Notion pulled up. So here,
she's prepared. She's responsible.
So Nick Parker and Elizabeth James, two young hot people, they meet on the Queen Elizabeth II and fall in love. So my question was, did they meet and fall in love on the same trip or meet and get married?
That was not confirmed. And I had the same question this time too, because when she's recounting it to her daughter, she's like, we met there and and I was like, so you got married within 24 hours, but she was wearing a dress.
And also when they're later on in the movie, we'll get to this. I don't mean to jump around, but when the girls have them back on the boat to recreate the Queen Elizabeth II, Chessie and Martin both say that they were also there when they met. So I'm like, is this generational wealth that you could bring your butler and your like housekeeper with you on a cruise?
Or maybe they were working on the cruise separately. Like Martin was in like hospitality and Chessie was.
But they never met each other before that, have they?
Oh yeah, but maybe maybe they're in different departments.
Maybe it's a huge ship.
God, but maybe we're overanalyzing it. like,
no,
I don't think
we're analyzing it. It's enough.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just say that either they have so much wealth that they would bring.
Yeah,
their nanny and butler.
I like thinking of that. But it is just crazy because so they meet, they fall in love, they get pregnant with twins, and then they break up right after that. So this was not a long love story if this was the case.
It was not. And I always thought for some reason that they separated them like the second they were born at the hospital. But that doesn't make sense either because like it probably was like a year into
But I kind of got that vibes. But maybe Nick and Elizabeth, like they have one of those passionate kind of toxic loves where it is just like so impulsive. They seem like impulsive lovers.
They do. And maybe it was toxic and they knew like, but it is fucked up to separate your children and not tell the other person that they have a twin in this world.
It is horrendous. And I've seen things of being like, what judge agreed to this?
Literally like so much trauma. Like either you keep that secret your entire life, which probably, especially now with all like the DNA testing you can do.
Oh,
like
you 23 away with it.
People are like, oh, I have like 10 siblings.
It's crazy.
But like, it's just absurd.
It's absurd. It's not right. And I think we know that now. And I would like the resentment I would hold towards my parents would be so much like, therapy would be needed.
They should have just switched off with both of them. Like,
yes. It's like, you guys hate each other that much?
Yeah. And like someone should sacrifice them to move to either California or London. Like your parents, you brought kids into this world, like tough shit if you have to give up and like sacrifice things.
I thought about that it is like tough that they lived like so far away from each other. And do you think when they were together, they lived in California or they lived in London?
Ooh, I feel like maybe London because like she's really close with her dad. And like, it seems like she is up at the vineyard.
The vineyard. That's what gets me.
Fuck. Maybe she was
can
a California
sketch from
girl.
Everywhere.
That is true.
And maybe that's part of what tore them apart. But
Business.
anyways, we haven't even gotten into the movie really. Okay. So Nick and Elizabeth divorce. Nick is given custody of Hallie in California on a vineyard, and Elizabeth raises Annie in London, where she works as a wedding gown designer. Can you imagine better jobs for your parents?
Leave it to Nancy Meyers to create the perfect white.
No kidding. No kidding.
Like this is what she does. It's what she does best.
It's what she does best. And Hallie and Annie would have the best wedding you could ever ask for. Vogue would definitely cover it.
Oh, 100%. God, those little bitches.
Yeah. They'd be unbearable, but wow, they have a great wedding.
Wow. So both of the parents send them to Camp Walden for the summer for 8 weeks.
8 weeks. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God.
Did you ever go to summer camp for long, stay away summer camp? And how long was it?
Oh my God. I loved camp. Shout out to Camp Winnemucca. They had 1 week sessions, but you could stay up to like 4 weeks. I only stayed for 2 weeks. But I could have stayed all summer though. I loved it.
I never did that as a kid. Like I never did sleepaway camp.
Camp is like the best experience. And I went to, it is called an adventure camp. So it was just so fucking fun the whole time. I loved it. But 8 weeks is gnarly. Also, is summer itself even 8 weeks?
Yeah, I don't think so. I was like, who are these? What is the clientele at this camp at Camp Walden?
What is it? Can I ask you another question? Speaking of clientele. You know, there's a little boy and he's like, I thought this was a boys' camp. Is that a boy or is that a girl?
So that's like the bit they kind of maybe elongate it a little bit. I think it's supposed to be a boy.
I think so too, but I can never tell. And I still can't tell sometimes.
I think it is, but you know that the little girl, there's a Nancy Meyers' daughter makes an appearance in it.
What's her name again?
Hallie. Wait, Haley. Haley.
Oh. I was like, huh?
Oh, but maybe Hallie was a little
based
twitch.
on.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So they arrive at camp, and I think like this scene of the movie is truly one of my favorite, like establishing like the character. It's just like so well done, like from the way that they're dressed and like how they talk and how they introduce the characters like Martin and stuff. I was like, wow, what a great like start to a movie.
It was so great. I will never forget the tall girl in the tie-dye t-shirt with the yellow bag.
Was she not like a awakening of like so many things to you?
You're like, that is a cool, tall, athletic babe.
Like that is a woman. She's hot. Like,
yeah. I mean, she even says now that's my kind of woman.
I was like, also like a little lesbian like tension between them.
There's got to be hints in it everywhere, doesn't it?
She's like always giving her a piggyback and they're always like touching each other.
Wow. Well, it is the time of like sexual awakening at that point.
Yeah.
So
I was like, how many girls hooked up at this camp? Lord knows that the Marthas or whatever they're called are
Marfa. What is it? Something like that.
Marva.
Yeah, I think it's Marva, but I didn't realize they were mother and daughter till I rewatched it recently too.
It's so funny when Hannah and I watch it together. She's always like, that feels like you and me. I feel like the older woman. We're just like mad at everyone.
She is like very strict for owning a summer camp. Like I feel like there's like some, I mean, she's old.
Well, the isolation cabin is like haunting and kind of fucked up.
If I found out that I sent my child to summer camp and they sent them away in an isolation cabin by themselves.
It's like when Noah used to go to that dog school and I would look at the cameras and be like, where is he? And then they would be like, oh, he was misbehaving. So we put him in like a crate for the past 2 hours. I was like, why am I spending $50 then?
He's sleeping so soundly. If he only knew what we were talking about right now.
He's like, give it up.
He's like, I'm over it. You should be too. Oh my gosh. Oh, also I have to mention Annie's dress or her like Chanel suit and like Chanel kitten heels when she gets out of the car. I was like, that is shocking to wear on that long of a flight and into summer camp.
Also, to arrive in a limo at the summer camp must be so embarrassing.
It would be humiliating. And I think she was proud.
I think she was proud too. That happened to me once in high school when it's like such a long story, but I essentially did arrive to this thing that I had to do for Best Buddies in a black car.
Wait, what is Best Buddies? Is it like Little Sister program?
It's Best Buddies is a thing I was involved with in high school where you're like paired up with a kid that has Down syndrome or autism and you like form a relationship with them and like you're kind of like their buddy in school.
That is so sweet.
So I had to go to this like seminar about it before I became president of the club senior year.
A president.
And yeah, I was president, just like a little name drop in there. But it was at UC Berkeley, and there was kids from all around the country.
I'm just taking a hit off the pen while I'm listening.
And so like all of these other kids that didn't know me, and it's like something happened where I couldn't drive my car. My dad's like, I'll just get you a car. And I thought it meant like a cab, but I arrived in a black car and everyone saw it. I was like 17.
Chic.
It was like it makes me sick to think about.
I love it. I would have been there for it.
Thank you. But anyway, I digress. But it was triggering that scene.
I kind of like this and I want to go back here. And then this scene is where we first see the handshake.
Oh, the handshake.
Also, why didn't her mom drop her off?
She seems also her mom's not there when she arrives back.
Or
she doesn't pick her up at the airport. Like she enters and like she comes down the steps.
Thank God for that scene. But it is wild
truly
that she wouldn't pick her up or drop her off.
Oh God. Is that Knall? Is he
back?
Yeah,
Knall's walking through the backyard. Oh man.
Oh, you know what? Everything's going to be casual today, kids. It's going to be casual. Right. Patreon up. You're going to see everything.
This is what Patreon is for.
Exactly. We can't be perfect for y'all all the time.
No, we can't. So they do the fencing scene, which again, I said I always reenacted.
Yep.
And then
fencing scene is chic.
And then the oh my God. So with the fencing scene is where they first see each other for the first time. And I had the thought, like, the emotional preparation that Lindsay Lohan had to do as a child to see her twin for the first time.
And two different people reacting to that in different ways.
She is such a great actor. Like this movie, she crushed it. Not only does she have a great British accent, I mean, it goes in and out, but I can't even do a British accent.
Better than like fucking most like Hollywood stars that do it. Like Nicole Kidman. So I'm going to bring it there.
I bring it there. She deserves it.
She deserves it.
It's just a crazy, like Lindsay Lohan is so talented.
I know.
And I was wondering, I was like, is she going to do this well? And she did.
She did. And like, Hallie kind of has more of like a denial reaction and Annie has a bit more of a vulnerable reaction.
Wow. It's just stunning.
And then they're still not even like that creep. I mean, I think they are in denial, but they're just kind of like, oh, like, nice to meet you. Like, well, first of all, Hallie completely attacks Annie's appearance.
Yeah. It was really, really mean. I'm like, she looks exactly like you.
She says she's a bad nose, crooked teeth, and something else.
Horrendous.
Or her complexion or something.
But it's like you literally look exactly the same. But hey, projecting.
Wow. Damn. To be a twin as a woman.
I will say, like, Hallie's friends are definitely more mean than Annie and her friends are.
They're the mean girls. And like the third one in like their little group is like the one with the glasses who just seems really losery.
But she managed to make her way into the group.
Like trying to be a mean girl, but actually like that those are always the worst.
They're the meanest.
Truly the meanest. Yeah.
Because they know. But Annie's friends seem lovely.
That is true. They seem classy, which brings us to the poker scene.
Have we done the pranks? Or is poker become before?
Poker's first because they steal her clothes. Yes.
I can't believe these girls are so good at poker.
Yeah, like how?
It must be genetic. So either like, well, maybe Nick and Elizabeth were both really good at poker and that's something that they bonded over.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. How are they? I still don't know how to play poker.
I don't either. And like, for some reason, I just don't have the desire to know.
It feels like so much work. It's the same thing with chess for me. I would love to learn, but it seems so overwhelming. Do you know how to play chess?
Someone tried to teach me once, like on a date.
Oh.
And I felt like the stupidest person.
That's how I feel.
That's how it makes you feel. Cause it like uses the part of your brain where like, it's like the right side of your brain, right?
Nope.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like there's like no, it's like math to me. It like made me feel really ashamed. I like hate chess and never want to play again.
Same. So that's what poker brings up for me. But I really feel like they were both great at it. And a royal
good.
flush.
Hallie has a clip in her hair.
Now.
With the jean. Does she have a jean jacket on in that scene?
I think it's a bomber jacket.
You're right. It's a bomber jacket, like an emerald green bomber jacket.
And she has like, I think blue, like metallic nails.
Yep. Her little side bang hanging out.
And she was so cool.
Wow. So
she reminds me of Kristen Cavallari a little bit.
She is Kristen Cavallari and Annie is Elsie.
It's so true. Woman can go into two boxes.
And that's it.
Yeah, so then she has to skinny dip. This is so mean.
Can you imagine when you're going through puberty and someone does this to you? That's like traumatizing for the rest of your life.
Also, where are the counselors?
Yeah, like they're certainly aware the next day and offer severe punishment, but this day they're just not giving a shit if these women are out getting nude and bullying each other.
And it's not okay.
I'd be so pissed if I were the parent. I'd be like, give me all my money back.
Like, what did I even pay for? I just sent them out to the woods.
Like, truly, to get
Crazy.
harassed.
To get harassed. Crazy. And then the pranks do begin.
So the pranks begin because they're like, game on.
Game on. And I have so many questions.
How did they get all of those things?
The beds on the roof. How? And were Annie and her whole cabin on sleeping pills? Because those pranks are impossible to like,
when you're a kid wake up and you pass out so hard. Like, do you remember that feeling? Like when you like literally have never had a sleep like that ever since?
Yeah. Because you're so exhausted from growing.
Like literally your brain is like, I have to shut down. Like I have to. Your life depends on it.
The amount, like the intricacy of that huge prank. I think the worst was the girl who woke up with like honey all over and she's like, ew, ew.
God, I can't tell which one would make me like have the most anxiety. I don't mind the whipped cream. I think that's kind of
like
funny.
You wash it off. Annie got the least of it because she literally just got a balloon on her and got some stuff on her feet.
God, it's so true. It's so true. But yeah,
one girl with the green spikes was crazy.
I know pranks used to like. Did you ever do pranks when you were little on someone like this?
We did pranks at summer camp.
Wow.
One of like the prank ideas was to put an alarm clock and set it for 4 a.m. and put it in the vent. So they don't know where it's coming from in the year. We got like to do some crazy pranks.
Oh my God. It's like being a kid is just about trying to like find ways to fuck with adults.
Being a kid, Tess, your favorite thing is catfishing.
That is true. Yeah, like I guess a different, but like I remember doing the thing where you would put someone's hand in like a water bowl.
Totally. Sleepover pranks they were crazy.
It was like a kid's version of drugs, like that rush.
Yeah, it's the rush. Which I wish I still had your pin because my card.
Oh, you can come back here for a second and take a little hit of it.
I'll keep us moving. Oh,
like no thanks.
I wish.
I know these are the things, guys. These are the things. Okay. So obviously they get in trouble for these pranks and they're sent to the isolation cabin. And this is when they realize that they are sisters.
Our sisters.
Say the line.
Hallie, what is, I can't do it.
You know it.
We're not sisters. We're not just sisters.
Yeah.
We're twins.
We're twins. And then they hug.
So shout out to Oreos and peanut butter. I don't know why people were shaming them for eating that because it's delicious.
Yeah, like why would that be gross? It's chocolate and peanut butter. Like what's like,
please. Everyone's like, I know. Everyone's so disgusted by it.
There was a couple when Annie says, what does she say? I like even wrote it down. Or when she goes, oh, sure, I love Oreos. I eat them at home. That made me want to sob for some reason.
Annie is so tender in that scene.
And like the acting, she's like playing with her hair and she's a little nervous. And I was like, Oscar worthy, honestly.
She played 2 characters at 11. Oscar worthy.
It's crazy.
It's phenomenal.
And then something else that stood out to me was when they're showing each other photos and then Hallie's like, this is our house. We built it from the ground up. I was like, you're giving me like Camille Grammer vibes. Like you did not build this house. You had nothing to do with it. Like,
I totally thought the same thing.
And she also says it again at some point. Like she says like, she keeps referring to everything like, oh, we own a vineyard. We own like, she's very like possessive of her father's like, it's weird. I'm like, honey, stop. Don't take credit for this.
Yeah, I didn't like that either because like you played no part in this at all, Hallie. But hey, when you're 11, I guess you think the world belongs to you.
God, ain't that the truth?
I wanted to ask you if it left an imprint on you, the Leonardo DiCaprio.
It did. When she's like, don't you know, what did she say? Leo almost blew away or something? Because like
he
said, the windows open.
Yeah, she was like, are all your pictures okay? And then she was like, everyone except Leo.
Oh, God.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I remember seeing that for the first time. And I just had like, it was like a truck hit me in the heart. I was like, I can't believe it.
Hit me right in the heart. Also, Hallie is very hungry in that scene because she has Oreos and peanut butter. And then she's like, I'm going to go get a popsicle.
So I guess I like realized this watching the movie again. That I guess that's like an overall thing is that like Hallie has a large appetite and always wants to eat. And Annie does not.
Annie doesn't eat one bite of Chessie's cooking. And it makes me so upset the whole time because I want Chessie's cooking.
And it like, probably if I were Chessie, I'd be upset. I'd be like, this is rude. I feed you. I cook for you.
I
I
would
got in my
absolutely
way. And then you're always
it,
just like, no, thank you.
all the
Hate it.
time. Chelsea's love language is cooking and food, and I love that.
We'll get more to Chessie later
Yep.
because we could do a whole episode on her.
We could.
She's an iconic woman.
Well, I found out that do you know the words that Corey said when she came on screen?
What?
Now that's a woman. He was
Corey
not
likes
into
her?
Meredith. He loves Chessie.
I mean, I could see it. She's like sexy. She's like very confident. I mean, I don't think she's hot, but I think she's sexy.
She has this confidence about her for sure.
Yeah, she does.
So
who does Corey think that Elizabeth is beautiful?
oh, of course. He was like, she is stunning.
Stunning.
But he was not into Meredith in the slightest.
She's not pretty.
But iconic red lips.
I mean, like I don't know. I mean, she's not like beautiful. She's like supposed to be like a hot little, but she looks evil. I think that's why they cast her. She has like the really intense eye, like bulging eyes and sharp eyebrows,
blonde hair, red lips. It's perfect. We'll get to all of them soon.
We will. So then they come up with a plan, obviously, to switch places. They learn everything. They learn the map of the house, the handshakes, they cut the hair, they pierce the ears, right?
Oh, the ear piercing scene was always like triggering.
When I was watching this, I was like, just tell them that they closed up. But I guess that's like,
but like in 8 weeks, I guess they couldn't, because even mine still has like, I haven't put them in for years and it's still there.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So goddamn, I guess there was no way.
That my mom pierced her ears like that.
I think my mom, that used to be a thing with the apple and the needle.
No. I would never.
Oh, it makes me sick to think about.
Ouchie. So yes, they learn everything and then they switch. And I would also be so sad saying goodbye right after we met. But
I know, but I think they knew like we'll see each other so soon.
That's true.
And I think they had like the adrenaline of like, we're gonna do this thing.
That's right. And they crossed their fingers or crossed their fingers and crossed it on their chest. And
like, and closed their eyes. Good luck.
So then first we have Hallie going to London.
We all know the scene. There she goes.
Oh, it's perfect. The house is completely stunning.
Iconic
wealth.
Like Architectural Digest London wealth.
That is like, it's very classy.
Classy.
At first we reveal grandfather.
You smell like peppermint and tobacco.
Oh, iconic. We have to do that at one of our trivia nights. What does a grandfather smell like in the Parent Trap?
Oh my God, that's a good question.
I think we have to. So then she meets her mom. Take it away, Tess.
I just don't know if there's a scene in truly like all throughout movie history where the love that you have for your mother is embodied within like 10 seconds when Elizabeth comes down the stairs and just says, Annie, you're back. And then Hallie, but quote Annie, like rushes up to her and they hug. And then she says she just wants to look at her and she just wants to hug her. And it's like oh my God, I could cry thinking about it right now. I was crying this morning.
Natasha Richardson is all of our moms.
She is. And it's like how you think of your mom is just,
yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm not taking anything away from you, Cindy. It's just oh shit. We only have 10 minutes left in our Zoom. We'll come back if we need to, guys.
We'll come back. We might even have to do part 2 because this movie is so long.
It's good.
2 hours long.
2 hours. That's what I saw too. I was like, what kid can like keep their attention that long?
But we will say that about an hour and a half in, I sometimes get like a little like, let's speed it up a little bit. But I digress. It's just a beautiful mother-daughter exchange of like of what they know, what they don't know, what they're gonna find out. It's everything in that like 2 seconds, and knowing that she has since passed.
It makes it so hard. I can't.
And that her son watches it when he misses her because he says it's exactly like her.
Stop it. Are you joking?
No, he just had an interview where he said that.
That makes I'm wrecked.
I know. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't help it.
That is the most tender thing. Oh my God.
I know.
Wow. So anyways.
Show them.
But to build off of that, then they go to, we see her room too. And like all the womanly things on her dresser, so beautiful. And they're playing Here Comes the Sun.
Oh, when she dangles the little, like
crystal.
Crystal.
It's incredible. And then she's like, would you hate it if you went to the studio with me?
Hey, na, na, na,
Ah,
na, na, hey,
and
yeah.
then they make the atrocious decision to put a top hat with a veil on the wedding dress.
It is tough. But like, I mean, maybe that was chic in 98, but I mean, a top hat I don't think has ever been chic.
I mean, I appreciate the risks
Right.
and the choices. I would rather you make a choice than make no choice at all, but sometimes it doesn't hit.
No, that is true. But
But it
she's
hits
watching
just
her
right.
mom and she's like,
Uh,
oh, and the mom's talking to the photographer and she's like, oh, do you see how the veil just like how it flows like that? She's so effortless. And I was just like, oh, you are effortless.
she is effortless. She's so beautiful. She's like ethereal.
She is ethereal. And I love her hair.
I love her hair too. It's so Diana.
Oh, God, it is.
And her, like, she dresses all throughout the movie. It's just so elegant.
She wears like
Elegant.
creams and
Mm.
I love the black dress she wears on the boat.
I love that dress. I
So
want that
sexy.
dress.
So
It's so
same.
sexy. It's so sexy. Anything else happening in London before we go on over to California?
I think that's about it. Like you can tell that she's having the time of her life to be there. She's falling in love with her
Starts
mom.
asking about her dad right away.
Right. Which is like, wouldn't you ask all these questions when you're like 7?
Oh, yeah. I think I would.
Like they should have at least put these girls into therapy or like there's just so much secrecy. And you know what they say about secrets?
What is it again? It weighs you down.
Something like that. Like it's like
they're like rocks that you collect until they're so
yes.
heavy. It's
Yes,
so
heavy.
true.
They must this family must feel so heavy.
It's just like knowing that there's another one out there is so crazy. And you don't think about your other child at all.
Like, wouldn't it wreck them every day and night?
It
Not
must.
do they get updates?
I don't think so because I don't like when he first saw her, he was like, I haven't seen her in 10 years. Like, I don't think that they're talking.
God, that's so dark too. I mean, maybe if you're never going to see your kid, updates like would be more painful.
But it's still your child. Like, I just can't imagine.
I know. I can't either.
But we have to look past these things.
That's
because
true.
Then it's too upsetting.
That is true. So yeah, she's asking all these questions and she's basically like, your dad was a hunk, which she like, I mean, she repeats a lot.
She was really turned on by Nick Parker, and we all were, and we all are.
When she goes, oh, he had a smile that made me weak in the knees, if you can believe it, Martin. He's like, I sure can, ma'am.
Yeah. Martin, well, I don't want to talk too much about, well, Martin is a gay man now.
He's gay as the day is long.
And Chessie is gay as well, right? Like they're each other's beards.
Do they ever kiss or like did they just fall in love as like friends?
I think
they're romantic.
kiss, but maybe they're experimenting.
And maybe they're just like soulmates in the way that they're like, I can't believe you've never been in my life. Like I love you so much, but they probably never have sex with each other.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they have sex with each other, but I could see them being soulmates. Like soulmates come in all different ways.
Yeah. And like they have like a lot in common. I think they also need each other, like the support.
They like definitely bitch about Elizabeth and Nick like behind their backs.
I mean,
to vent.
How could you not?
Yeah, it's a big job.
I know. I wonder how much they get paid.
I wondered the same thing. What is the salary for them? Also, I could see Chessie being like Nick's cousin, and that's like how he found her. You know what I'm saying? Like when they have a relative who like works for them in that way.
Totally. I was also like, wouldn't Hallie think of Chessie as her mom, that she's been there for 11 years and she's known her since a baby? That's like a mother figure to her.
She does everything that a mom does do for her.
Like literally.
I never even thought about that.
I was like, this is the woman in her house every day who takes care of her, who loves her, who like,
yes,
this is her mom.
And it's very, Chessie's role is different than like what Martin's role is. His is like a butler where he has to be like prim and proper. Like Chessie lets loose.
And like, I don't think Chessie like when Meredith rings the bell for her to serve her, she's like shocked.
That was cruel.
That's like not her role to like serve. Like she is part of the family. Which
yeah.
I think Martin is too. I mean, Annie did have a picture of Martin when she goes to summer camp, which I thought was odd. Like a grown man.
Martin, I'm sorry, Martin. And it didn't this watch, but Martin used to scare me so much. He really used to scare me.
Weren't we doing like who all our friends would be in the Parent Trap, and someone like, and we were like, oh, this person would be Martin, and you were like, no, he's too scary. I was like, oh, Claire, this was like 5 years ago.
I don't know why he always really scared it. He haunted me as a child. I watched it this time and I thought he was so fun.
He is, oh my God, if I had your what does he say?
If I had your legs or gams or something.
Yeah.
Stems.
Like, he's like, if I were seeing my ex and I had your stems, I'd be wearing this. He's gay.
He is a gay man. And I want him to live his truth.
Same Same. I just want him to be happy.
Same. Absolutely same. But I think there was some happiness found with Chessie eventually.
Oh, I do as well.
So we're about to meet Nick Parker. We have 3 minutes left on our Zoom.
I think we should do a part 2 because this movie could even be, this could be a part 3 because like we have to get through all of the like
we have so
hotel,
much to get through.
Then the camping trip.
You guys, we're gonna come back for a part 2 for you.
We're gonna come back.
Worry.
And it's gonna be even, you know, hey, hopefully we're not on Zoom. Hey, we might be. I don't know.
We might be. We have to just adjust.
We have to
we
adjust.
Will grow where we are planted.
You know what this made me think? If we ever are in different places, we could easily record with each other.
This is so nice.
So maybe this is a blessing.
It's not a mistake if you learn something.
Wow. Take that with your kids.
And we're leaving you with that. Guys, I promise we will have a part 2.
Yes.
So soon. I'm like, it's so soon.
So yeah, let us know too, like if you want us to have a part 2. I think
can't
people wanted this
not
one,
finish
right?
this. Yeah.
Oh,
I
no,
can't not
same.
finish this.
I think you guys were excited about it.
Yeah. And I don't want to like promise too much, but maybe we were like crazy. And even though we already have 2 episodes, we post this in the middle of the month, the part 2.
You know what?
To like be giving.
To be like kind.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out. But we love you, Rami, so much. And I'm so sorry that this is a shit show. Actually, I'm not.
No, I think I enjoyed myself. I was laughing.
Me too.
I cried a little bit.
Me too.
All the normal things.
We love you. And we are going to see you soon.
We'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for your continued support. We have so many fun things happening in September. We're already planning October episodes. So
yep.
God bless you.
God bless you, everyone.
And good day.
Good day. Oh, wait, I got to hit the recording. Okay.
Okay. Parent.
Okay.
Yeah. We got it, Claire. It is what it is. Do you want to quickly see like if, no, we'll do that later. We'll do it later.
If like just putting it on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Well, should we record the other one and then we can easily, I'm exporting it to a disk. I'll send it to you or you can send it to me.
Okay.
While we're recording the other one.
Okay. Perfect.